We have had a doozy of a day.
A real doozy.
There we were.
Yep.
Minding our own business.
Yep.
Making some improvements to my new house.
To the new house.
When all of a sudden, out of nowhere...
She just smiled and held my hand.
Hello, and welcome to Geeked on The Masked Singer, Season 4, Episode 1. And I would be Season 4 of the show, not Season 4 of us talking about it. This is the first season we will be talking about The Masked Singer, well, at least in a public forum.
That's true. And we are...
My name
I'm
is
Keith.
And I'm Shannon with GeekedVault. So, The Masked Singer is, if you haven't seen it, is a show where people get... I'm not quite sure why you'd be watching this if you hadn't seen it, or... so people dress up in costumes, and we try to guess, and the judges try to guess who they are, while also then eliminating people who, in order of, I don't know... Taste or,
preference, really.
Performance, sometimes, and sometimes not so much.
But not just random people. Celebrities. You don't have to guess, that's Mike Smith. It might be Mike Smith.
That's the guy who delivered my mail last week. I know it. Yeah. No, yeah, they're celebrities. And,
celebrities might be a bit strong.
The celebrities, in the definition of American celebrities, on a quote-unquote celebrity TV show.
No, honestly, compared to some shows.
Well, that's true.
Their celebrity level is pretty solid.
Yeah. Because I think it's fun.
It's fun.
Yeah, for them to do. They get to dress up in a very elaborate costume, and we'll talk about some of the costumes here. And they get to go out and they get to have some fun.
Yeah. And it's an amazing time commitment, though. I mean, it's not a lot of time, but it's a lot of spread out days. So
yeah, it is.
It's interesting how well they do with celebrities.
So this season we have 16 contestants.
16 entries.
Yeah, entry is 17 contestants.
Technically 17 contestants, yes.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. Yeah. Vying for the prize, the Masked Singer trophy, and the title of the Masked Singer. The first episode deals with Group A, which is the Sun, Popcorn, Snow Owls, Giraffe, and Dragon.
Yeah.
Coming up, we have Group B and Group C. The last season, they dealt with all of Group A through to the semifinals. All of Group B through to the we're not sure.
I didn't like that.
We didn't like that. So it's going to be interesting to see, how they decide to handle it this time.
It'd be nice to see them switch around some.
Yeah.
Not just have one group for a couple weeks and then...
We think that they did it because of the time commitment.
Yeah.
That you show up and you... Anyway. So our first contestant is the Sun. What did you think of her outfit there?
Well, the Sun, it's an interesting outfit. It plays right into that Marie Antoinette.
Yeah, it's...
Louis XIV era,
Definitely a hoop skirt going on there.
Sun King sort of thing. Only, obviously, this was a woman.
Right.
But the mask is oddly, I don't know, Mayan?
Well, it's upside down. Does that mean something? I mean, the mouth is up on the, above the eyes as far as our viewpoint. Does that mean anything?
I didn't even notice that.
I noticed it and wasn't sure if it meant anything. In her official picture, there's a, like a sun, radiating off of her, which makes sense.
Yeah.
I like it. It's cool.
Oh, it's a very nice, detailed fashion outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, she's looking probably at someone with a flair for fashion to begin with.
So, her entry, she came out and her entry song was Because I Love You.
By Lizzo.
And I think one of the things you said was she sounds like Lizzo.
Yeah, it was a heck of a performance. But we should probably
get video clues first.
Talk about the video first.
So when they come out, the first thing they do is show us a video package and they perform. So in the video package, some things that we noticed were She said extreme seasons, meaning seasons in her life. What did that mean? What did that mean? Extreme seasons, though.
Yeah.
And that's interesting wording. Center of the universe. That she was used to being the center of the universe and burned out.
Yeah. Now, those are obviously, sun-based puns.
Yeah.
But they can also mean other things.
Mickey Mouse ears kind of really stuck out in one of
Yes, absolutely. There's a point where the planet, Earth, suddenly looks like the Mickey Mouse logo.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some kind of Disney connection for sure. Now, whether that's one of the Disney kids, Christina, Brittany, like
Right.
that, or whether it's someone who is famous for a Disney movie, who knows at this point, but...
She said the statement, "I was frozen," which is a strange. I think it really stuck out to me. It's a strange thing for the sun to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Swinging into life, something else that was said, and there was a jaguar in there, meaning the cat. So our guess is coming out of this first week.
After hearing her sing.
Sounding like Lizzo.
Yeah. Sounding really good. Great performance.
Yeah.
I went heavy into the Disney
Yeah.
and the ability to sing. So my first guess is Christina Aguilera. I mean,
Yeah.
she fits some of those categories for sure. So...
And my guess, leaning heavily on the Frozen section of this, Frozen also being a Disney movie, I went with Idina Menzel, since she was Frozen. Now, do I really think it was Idina Menzel? I'm not sure yet. I do think that she would have the ability, though, to mimic her voice, to play off of the Lizzo thing.
Looking forward to more clues on this one.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so next up was Giraffe. Let's dig into this costume.
Yeah, the giraffe's costume is interesting. I think it swayed a lot of people in a Hamilton-type direction because it's very 1800s statesman, late 17, early 1800s statesman, Thomas Jefferson-type costume.
Yeah, it is for sure.
But that just could be a fashion statement.
And one of the things that we kept looking at was how tall someone is. And it does definitely look like his head is right at the neck portion of this. It's got to be right in here.
Yeah,
so you can see out through that black paneling.
Increased shoulders, too.
Yeah. But the arms can't be, though.
Well,
right?
That's true.
I don't know. It's hard to say where the head is here on this one.
Well, if it's not, okay, if the head is in the neck where we think it is, there's some lanky arms. So maybe a basketball player
this, maybe? I mean, I don't know. But then maybe
a basketball player or someone, I don't know.
All right, well, for the video clues, had a roller coaster career.
Okay.
Music in blood.
Yeah, he came
Blood
out.
Of jokes.
The video starts with him as sort of a carnival.
Carnival, yeah, like a carnival barker, and the whole theme of it was carnival.
Yeah.
Of the video, I was in knots, towering success. And when they talked to him, he's happy that his costume allows anonymity. He was very specific about that.
Yeah.
And then we had our unconfirmed guess that he was shorter than Nick.
Yeah, he does seem to be, if he's as tall as we think he is shorter than Nick Cannon, which puts him in the 5'10" range, somewhere in there.
His song was "Let's Get Started."
Yeah, the Black Eyed Peas. He was all right. He was pretty good.
It was high energy for sure.
Yeah. It wasn't Gronkowski type performance.
Right.
It was a real performance.
Yeah. Someone who can actually carry the song or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. performances, used to performing, not just riling the crowd up.
Right.
So our guesses were Mark Wahlberg.
Well, okay. Yeah, when I heard the voice initially, I'm like, I know that voice.
Oh, I know.
And I really felt like I knew the voice.
Yeah, and he did say that, yeah.
More we listened to it, when we were watching it the second time, because we did watch the episode multiple times to do this, I said, it sounds like Mark Wahlberg. And then you look at the clues about, his start, trying something different, being the butt of jokes because of it.
And now he's a huge success.
Right.
Yeah.
But when he started as an actor,
oh yeah,
he was initially a joke.
Right.
And then he
Marky
did
Mark.
Fear, and they kind of sort of gave him a little leeway, but he was still kind of a joke.
Yeah.
And now he's one of the biggest movie successes in the world.
And after you said Mark Wahlberg, that's all I could hear. So I was like, oh, I think it's right. I think you're right. But I guess we'll have to listen more just to find out.
Now, usually I would argue Mark Wahlberg is too big.
Too big, yeah.
For this kind of show.
So big, yeah.
But there are two things playing for it right now. One is quarantine.
Right.
With quarantine, they probably can get better celebrities now than they've ever had before.
Yeah.
Two is his sister-in-law as a panelist.
Right.
And it would be funny
just
to
see
mess
with her.
Reaction, just to mess with her. And apparently for Mark Wahlberg, that wouldn't be unheard of. He's got a
could it be her
prankster personality. Could it be Donnie?
Could it be Donnie?
Could be Donnie.
Actually, that's not something we talked about before, but I have no clue what he sounds like, so.
He was kind of treated as the butt of jokes when he went into movies, too. But he's not the towering success that Little Brother is.
Yeah.
The other name I came up with was Travis Barker. But I don't think he fits the clues as well.
Yeah. All right, well, next to come out in her pin-up dress, I would say.
This was awesome.
A super awesome costume. Popcorn. Yeah, I love this outfit. I really do.
What I see when I look at this outfit is sort of a mashup of the Andrews sisters.
Yeah.
And Dolly Parton.
It also looks like she could start selling cigarettes at any time.
That too. But it's Americana.
Yeah.
And then it's got that popcorn head, which looks like Dolly's hair, and it's just...
it's cool.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Great job. I mean, great job on the costumes always, but I really love this one.
Yeah.
So the video clues for Popcorn, the things that stood out.
Right.
Tiger. There was a tiger on the bed with her. We have a picture of that. We'll show that. Hoop earrings.
Okay.
Hustler. She said she was a hustler. Filling through Vogue to exotic, faraway places. Flipping is the word. Flipping through Vogue to exotic, faraway places with royalty.
Yeah.
So, the song she sang was "What About Us."
Yeah, I don't know this song.
What about us? What about us?
Yeah, I know. I heard the song. I wasn't familiar with it when I heard it. Listening to the voice was fascinating. The voice, every season there has been a legendary diva. Mm-hmm. We had Gladys, and we had Patti LaBelle.
Yep.
And we had, there's always a legendary diva. And Dion. We had Dion.
Oh, yeah, Dion.
And she was fantastic. This season, listening to this voice, this is the diva. This is the legend, as far as I can tell. And the legend doesn't just sound like a diva. She sounds like the diva. She sounds like the pinnacle.
Right.
Tina Turner.
Tina Turner, yeah. Makes sense to me.
I'm
having a hard time thinking it's anyone else.
If it's not Tina Turner, I do have a couple other names that bounce around in there, and they are people who have played Tina Turner.
Yeah.
It's either Tina Turner or Angela Bassett
Right.
or Adrienne
Warren,
who played Tina on Broadway in Simply the Best. That's how much it sounds like Tina Turner. I'm stuck on those three names right now.
All right. The next person to come out was Dragon.
This was cool. Chinese, sort of Chinese dragon-inspired outfit.
Yeah.
The head is not Chinese. It's more Korean, Japan.
Yeah.
But it's not a foo dog type head.
Mm.
But the video was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
It had a quirky personality, which can be important. It can tell you something.
So video clues were outrageous costumes are not new to them.
Sure.
Statue of Liberty was in there, and there was also a barbell.
Yeah, he talked about not knowing his own strength in the beginning, coming out too strong, and some other stuff.
The song was "Mama Said Knock You Out."
Yeah. By LL Cool J, of course. Honestly, the performance, I didn't think it was a great performance.
Right.
It didn't have the flow of a rap song that you want.
Right.
And it felt like another Gronkowski attempt. An artist taking a song that'll hype up the crowd and maybe get you through a round.
Yeah.
But I did not, I didn't think it was the best performance. Which is odd because when it came time to guess, looking at the clues, looking at the costume, the only thing I could come up with was a great performer,
Right.
a great rap artist, and that's the king of the Wu-Tang Clan, RZA. With the Chinese, I think I was thrown by the Chinese dragon outfit and Wu-Tang's love of old martial arts movies, but
well, and I just hearing seeing the barbell, hearing about the the strength and the whatever, I was just like, I think and the sound, the gruffness of the voice and the way it was presented, I thought this has got to be a wrestler of some sort. I had no clue which wrestler, but I just thought it was a wrestler.
There's going to be a wrestler at some point.
There's going to be one at some point. All right. So the next ones up are the Snowy Owl.
Now, this is fascinating. This is a first. We have a duet.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to figure out what their connection is.
Yeah, the costume, though. Let's talk about the costume. They're in what looks like an egg.
They're
like a Fabergé egg.
Yeah, they're in a Fabergé egg.
And it's cool.
Very glitzy, It limits their movement, so they don't have to learn a lot of dance moves.
Probably a lot of... Well, we don't know for sure what's underneath it. They could come out of that egg, right?
Well, I guess they could, but they didn't.
They didn't. Yeah.
They were rolled out, and they stayed in it, and rolled back out again.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
So the
but they have they're the person. Well, at least the male person. In this couple seems to be the personality this year. The one who's really adapting to their costume and honing into it, like Joey Fatone did in season 1, like
playing it as a character.
Yeah. Poor Joey.
Oh yeah.
He was great.
He really was, yeah. So the video clues were, there was a pearl in there.
Yeah, that was strange.
There was a sign that said, "Welcome to Jam-A-Lot," at the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Not together in a while. Family reunion. There was a rose. And they talked a lot about Christmas and snow and a story about a prank.
The Christmas thing got overblown. I think it was a story. It was an anecdote.
I think it was too. I think it's gone
to say
overblown.
he's a prankster.
Just to say, yeah. But yeah, he was a prankster. Yeah, there's been a lot of focus on the birdhouse.
Well, yeah, okay, with the birdhouse, basically, she's telling a story about how he picked her up from work one day, was driving her home in, like, I don't know, I guess it was December,
Right.
but in sunny California, you
Right.
know.
And she came
And
home
he's thinking, let it snow the whole time.
off key, she said.
Off key, of course.
Yeah.
And when they got to her house, it was covered in snow.
Right.
And he said he did it because he wanted Christmas to be magical that year.
Yeah.
It's a great story.
Right. Yeah, it is a really good
It doesn't have to necessarily be about Christmas.
Right.
Just a great story about this guy.
Yeah.
So, and being a prankster.
So for these two, our guest is
well, their song performance was Say Something.
Say Something.
And it was fantastic.
Yeah, it was really great.
It's hard to say a duet's going to go a long way because you never know what could happen, but
and I wonder,
they're good.
Yeah, they are very good. And I wonder if they stay in the egg and they just continue to do ballads or whatever you want to call it.
It might get boring.
But if they continue to do like they did last night, how do they get voted out?
Right, there's that too.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so basically you start going through your mind for couples.
Yeah.
And, there's so many country couples that make sense here.
Yeah.
The only one I could come up with initially was Tim McGraw and Faith Hill.
Yeah.
But then I started hearing other names.
I've heard some other names too.
That made sense, like Vince Gill and Amy Grant's good guess.
That's a good guess.
Clint Black and Lisa. Clint Black and his wife.
Yeah.
Is a good guess. There's lots of interesting.
Yeah.
Options.
So we'll be listening for more clues. Yeah. And we'll update with those. So we get to the end of the episode and the vote is taken.
Well, let's just get to the vote. Okay, let's get to the All
right, hold on one second. Yeah, so we'll get to the vote. That's
who was your pick for the night?
Best?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think probably the Owls were the best, I think.
But they were good, certainly.
I don't know.
I thought the Owls were up there. Popcorn was up there. But I think that I was leaning towards, oh my gosh.
Which one?
Giraffe.
Okay.
I mean, it was a pretty good performance, but it was an energetic performance.
Let's get it started.
Yeah, and it was a great first performance. Introduce yourself to the audience. So I felt like Giraffe was safe.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
When it came down to it, as much as I loved Sun's performance, I had Sun in the bottom two with Dragon.
Wow, yeah. I do remember you saying you thought that it was one of the two of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't
based
on her performance,
but based off of the others, they could.
Yeah.
There's no way they could have gone out. Yeah.
And I thought it was more likely they would eliminate a woman than a man in the first episode. I don't know why, but that's where we were.
And then the vote comes back, and it was Dragon who did not get enough votes.
Which I understand.
Yeah.
So basically, the Gronkowski method did not work this season. Just doing a high energy song that the audience would get into was not enough.
Wasn't the answer.
And I think part of it is because Gronkowski went so far and eliminated icons.
Yeah. And maybe they didn't want that to happen again. I don't, who knows? And
I think it was an audience reaction.
Well, and the audience was a lot more varied than it was before.
Sure.
Usually you just get people who live in LA or who are visiting LA. And now we've got people at home.
That's true.
Who've been randomly selected from all over the place. So
yeah.
All right. So they take off the mask.
It made sense. Okay, when the judges made their last guesses, it made sense that they were right, that some of the judges were right, and it was hip-hop legend Busta Rhymes.
Busta Rhymes.
And, well, Nick Cannon knew it from the start.
Yeah.
but they're close, and I think Robin and Nicole got this one right.
Right, and so they each got a point. So this year they're going to be tracking scores for the judges based off of the very beginning.
Right. I would pick Rita Ora to win, but we're in the wrong country. Rita Ora was a killer.
She was. She really was. Yeah, and Busta did say in his discussion at the very end that he was having trouble breathing, which makes sense.
Yeah, when you heard him perform the second time,
right, he was
out
so
of the
much
dragon
better.
mask, he had the flow, he had everything you expect. And maybe there was a little bit holding back the first time too, which you can't blame him if there was,
right.
but it's a shame to see Busta go so early
That's
on a rap
for sure.
song.
Absolutely.
I'd like to see what else he could have done. But I agreed with the decision to send him based on the performance.
Well, let us know if you agreed with the decision to send Busta home and who your favorite was for this week down below. Like and subscribe and follow us. We're going to continue to do The Masked Singer on a weekly basis.
Yep. We will put it out probably the day after or the day after that.
We'll get to it as soon as we can.
But before the next episode airs.
Before the next episode, for sure.
Right.
Well, thank you for listening to us, and we hope you have a great day. And here is your reminder.
Be excellent to each other. And
Game on! Game on! Game on!